Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I guess the overall market. So you might have recognised, you might have seen, we'll just have a little look, that some alts anyway, are getting significantly beaten up at the moment. You know, there's a lot in the red against the Satoshi pairings. That's kind of in a way what we were expecting to see as Bitcoin dominance basically takes new lows, and when we find new lows, we do expect to find bounces. They're relief bounces, like you would see with any chart, essentially catching a knife. So this is basically what's going on right now. That's what I was saying on the group this morning. That and I suppose this is what I was preparing for. It was to hedge into Bitcoin the closer we get to levels of support, just like we hedged into altcoins the closer we got to resistance. We're playing a game of support and resistance. So obviously this is the absolute tippy top. This is very unlikely to be the bottom. We are breaking down in a very bearish chart. We've got a death cross here. We also had a conversion baseline, Ichimoku conversion cross somewhere around here. If I were to have the Ichimoku cloud, let's have a look. Actually, let's just turn that on, which again is a short signal. If you were to able to short this asset, you would short it. So there's a lot of bearishness going on this daily chart with Bitcoin dominance. So just put things into context. It's bearish. So what we're seeing now is a bounce, and it's reasonable to assume that we will find these bounces. And when you get bounces on Bitcoin dominance, it puts alts at in vulnerable positions. Now let's wind it back into January. Since January, a lot of alts, you know, even the top caps have rallied significantly. Most top caps have done 2 or 3x. Mid caps 3, 4, 5x. Low caps, you know, 10, 11, 12, 20x, right, since January. So that has been a pretty decent alt season by any standard. But it's not necessarily over, as we were looking at the video the other day, how I presented you with weekly charts on some of those top cap coins, all presenting the same signatures, which is long-term chart reversal, strong buy signals on the weekly. So they are all still in play. So this isn't the end of what alt season is. A difficult one to explain to people who haven't been around, you know, in crypto for long enough to understand what it means. All an alt season is a decrease in Bitcoin dominance, allowing for altcoins to increase. It doesn't mean that altcoins are going to see what they saw in 2017, which I suppose is what a lot of new people seem to misunderstand when they say, "What's going on with alts? I thought you said blah blah blah." Look, alt season is increasing in its Satoshi pairings. And that's what alt season is. Alt season is a continuous move of altcoins against Bitcoin, which causes the Bitcoin dominance to break down like this, because alts are stronger or gain more than Bitcoin. So that's all an alt season is, and this alt season has been going on since mid to late January. And it's still technically in place. So what we're seeing at the moment is a bounce, just like you'd see with anything. You call it a dead cat bounce in any normal asset, but because we're dealing with a market cap dominance chart here, it's not as cut and dry as anything else. It's not black and white like that. But we can use this chart to gauge support and resistance to hedge in and out of Bitcoin to altcoins and altcoins to Bitcoins. So one thing you could also do is have trading bots. This is what I was saying. You know, trading bots are great. Trading bots against Bitcoin pairings with large charts, like the ones that you've seen me set up this last week or two. They have very large ranges to compensate for large moves down, because I'm expecting volatility to enter the market versus Bitcoin. But overall, I am expecting altcoins to outperform Bitcoin on the long run. So I set 2 of these very long-standing. I'll show you actually. I'll bring it up. We'll have a look at them now. Two of my. These are the 2 main bots that I've got going on Bitsgap, and you'll have a look at them and go, well, hang on, they're not very profitable at the moment, are they? They've not made that much. The idea is that they're not designed. These ones aren't designed to make fast money like my other ones were. These ones are designed to flow with the market. Large ranges, especially with the Ethereum one we've got here. I'm hodling Ethereum, I'm hodling Bitcoin, and I'm expecting this whole range to play out over and over and over again throughout the rest of the year. So it's a good time to set up and to have bots versus Bitcoin, because alt season is technically still in play. It's just that it's taken on a new form. Now, it doesn't mean that some of these small caps, the ones that have done 20x, 10x, aren't going to get beaten up. They will get beaten up. Nothing goes 10x or 20x without having decent retracement. It's just that, you know, how much It's like when I try to explain to new people. I mean, like when an asset gains in value, especially something like crypto, it's like breathing. All right, we all need to breathe. But in order to continuously breathe, we do have to breathe out as well. We all need oxygen, but we can't just have a permanent supply of oxygen just going into our lungs like some form of air conditioner. We have to breathe out as well in order to get the next breath. That's basically how all these charts are working. And that's how I would that's one analogy that I'd like you to try and recognize. In order to continuously breathe, we have to breathe out as well. That's what's going on. So when you see your portfolio balance go down, that's taking a breath out, ready for the next breath back up. And provided that the chart is healthy, the lungs are healthy, that next big breath will be bigger than the last one. So that, like I say, me and my analogies, I like to. Sometimes I find it's just easier to explain things to people who are new. And again, I am expecting alts to outperform Bitcoin, and this chart only emphasizes the fact that that's likely to happen. But as we make new lows, what we get is dead cat bounces. So we're getting a dead cat bounce now. This doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going to go up in value. Bitcoin can go down in value, which is essentially what's going on today. We are ever so slightly down on the day, but because Bitcoin dominance is finding new lows, alts are suffering, because what's happening is that all the gains that they've had, causing the Bitcoin dominance to go down, seem to be getting sucked back up, and probably going into Bitcoin in what I would expect to be a bit of a bounce for Bitcoin one way or another. Now, I would only get concerned over this market, and this is what I've been saying for about, I suppose, the last few weeks. I would only get concerned if Bitcoin itself starts to rally significantly, because if we go to the weekly, we see bearish divergence, and if we go to the 3-daily, we see bearish divergence. Now, this hasn't kicked in yet. We have had, we are ready for this to play out, I would say, and it could play out without making a new high. But if we do make a new high and we tag this trend line, I would expect to see probably a correction, a real correction. These are dips, really. They're 30%, 25%, 18% dips. They're not in line with what you'd expect with a long-standing bearish divergence that's been taking place since January, really. So I am waiting for a deeper correction and probably more of an overall correction of the market. And that's perfectly healthy and natural. That's a big breath out. That's like someone yawning, for a further analogy. But yeah, I'm not overall concerned of the market. There is a warning signs on Bitcoin, which obviously that would move over into altcoins as well, especially when Bitcoin dominance is so low. It does make altcoins vulnerable, despite the misconception that dominance breaking down continuously is always going to be good for altcoins. This is a lagging indicator. What this represents is altcoins being strong. It doesn't lead you into telling you that altcoins will continue to be strong. It only tells us if we break down from supports, like when we were getting excited about breaking down below 60. That was a fair enough time to be excited, because we knew that we had at least a few percent's worth of gains to be had before we saw a bounce. We were expecting a bounce anywhere between the top of this blue box, this purple box, and this white line here. Now we broke down beneath that, so we even had a bit more of a contingency of alts rallying, more than I expected. But myself was hedging into back into Bitcoin, taking profits into both Tether and Bitcoin, all the way down into this zone. And I am expecting a bit of a bounce here, and it's perfectly natural and normal, just like you'd see with any chart. When you're catching a knife, this is what you're doing. You're catching a market dominance knife. So, like I said, I don't want anyone to get completely concerned and panic and think that the market is going to get completely wrecked. This is just one day in the life of a Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is why you see it react like this to altcoins, is because the further the Bitcoin dominance goes, the more vulnerable altcoins get. So if you were to picture this again, so this is two ends, one massive extreme. If Bitcoin dominance broke all the way down to 0, where could it go from there? It couldn't, could it? It couldn't go any further down. There's only so far Bitcoin dominance could go. So if Bitcoin dominance went all the way down to 0, it would have to bounce. That would be the ultimate hedge, wouldn't it? Now you would think, okay, this is the place to buy Bitcoin now, because the only way is up. That's if we still expect there to be a Bitcoin. So it's just like I say, the panic is unnecessary at the moment. There's really nothing to worry about. This Bitcoin dominance chart is bearish on all time frames. There's signals on all time frames to suggest that this will continue to go down, but with the downwards trend comes bounces. And that's perfectly normal. And a bounce for Bitcoin dominance basically means we see alts bleed against their Bitcoin pairing, and what that means, if Bitcoin's going down and Bitcoin dominance is going up, it basically means that alts will get beaten up. Interesting to note, though, if we have a look at the ones that have changed into the green, I would imagine that the ones that are looking healthiest are the top cap coins. There'll be a few outliers, obviously. Top cap coins are the ones that had the strongest charts. So look, we've got Ethereum Classic there. That was on the list, wasn't it? What else do we have here that was on the list? Top cap coins. Dash is there. Binance Coin is there. Link is there. Litecoin is there. XMR is there. There's quite a lot that are here. Even Ocean is there. Bitcoin Cash is there. So it goes to the original plan, which what I said, that top cap coins are looking strong. We're looking to hedge into Bitcoin when we take profit. So again, I make these videos because these are my strategies. I don't expect anybody to copy me, but and I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not always right, obviously, but it's the way that I interpret these charts is to try and expect what is going to happen. And yeah, top caps are still strong. The top caps are faring okay against their Bitcoin pairing right now, but the smaller caps aren't. And why would that be? Well, it's probably because these small cap coins have rallied, I would expect, more than 5 times their value, maybe even 10 times some of them, and so they're going to have to give up some of those gains, because people like me are selling into Bitcoin and selling up after certain trends have finished, and that is the situation. It's not the end of the world. Like I say, Bitcoin dominance is a bearish chart. It will likely continue down, maybe bounce from here, probably have a decent bounce from around about 52.5, because it's a game of support and resistance, and that's how we choose to play it. Anyway, I've rattled on long enough. Hopefully you understand what it is that I'm referring to there, and you're not going to get too concerned. All the videos that I have made are still relevant, and none of this cancels anything out. It all just is part of the same large overall game that we're playing in crypto, and now what we're looking to do is play support and resistance with Bitcoin, and one of the best ways to do it, if you're, I suppose, not able to make the most of the market yourself, would be to have a bot do it, and that's what my bots are doing. My bots are generating me. They're playing the Bitcoin dominance support and resistance game for me, so I don't really need to worry too much about it. I saw this coming, and the bots have been set up appropriately at support levels. If we look at the way that I'm playing this with Ethereum, we have a long-standing support zone going all the way up from here. I set my bot up here because after the last 14 months we've generally bounced from this rough trend line, and so setting a bot up around here makes sense. We're going to have a little rally, probably come back down to test it, probably another big rally, probably down to test it. This bot that I've set up is going to stay for the rest of the year until the end of the bull market. Whether we go up in the market or down in the market, I expect this trend line to hold strong, and my bot will make the most of the entire range, whether there's a correction in the market or whether there's a pump in the market. The support, resistance, Bitcoin dominance, Satoshi pairings with Ethereum is all set to go. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. If you want to join the Patreon, we do 2 live streams a week. There's £7.50 a month, and that's 16 hours worth of live streams every month, and we get to look at all the altcoins that people present me. So we look at all the charts, work out what's good, bad, and the ugly. And also, if you're looking to set bots up or get discounts from trading with different exchanges, all the links are in the video description below. Anyway, I hope you have a nice day. Thank you for watching, and take it easy.